guys, Richard Scout from Green Mountain Horsemanship. Just want to do a quick little video on flying lead changes. For those of you that don't know what a flying lead change is, it's where you're on, say you're on the left lead, you're cantering along on the left lead, and without breaking gait, you go from the left lead to the right lead. The canter is a 3-beat gait, so there's 3 beats, a moment of suspension, and then it's in that moment of suspension that you will ask for the different lead, the new lead. Leads come from the hind end of a horse. So there's a few ingredients that I always look for when I'm working with lead changes and working with students on a flying lead change. One of them is, can you move your horse's hind end? Can you move it and have the front end stay pretty still? You want to be able to move it to the left, and you also want to be able to move it to the right. And you want to be able to move those hips while you're in motion at the walk, trot, and hopefully at the canter. The next thing that I like to see students be able to do, and horses when I'm riding do, before I ask for a flying lead change, is I like them to give their pull to me when I ask for it. Now, this mare's being rode in a 2-rein bridle right now. She's wearing a bozal and a spade bit. It's her third or fourth ride in a spade bit. So when I ask for this softness in her pull, she should give it to me. Don't fall into the trap of when you ask for a soft fill, if they don't give it to you, don't fall into the trap of seesaw on their faces. That does not create softness. That will cause the horse to yield, but there won't be any softness in it. So you ought to get to be, whether it's your spade bit or off of your bozal or off of your snaffle or whatever you're riding in, if you just ask for it, they ought to give back. Whether it's on the spade or whether it's on your bosalito. Okay? The next thing that I look for is from a standstill. Can you go from a standstill to a canter, either lead, within one body's length of your horse while maintaining a soft fill? So I ask for a soft fill. I'm going to want the left lead or left hip is facing the camera. So I'm going to ask her for a soft fill, and I want within one body stride of this horse a left lead. From a standstill. And I don't mind that there's a few walk trot steps in there. I don't need her to jump out of her tracks. Now her right hip is facing the camera. Gather up my reins. I'll ask for a soft fill. Now I want a right lead depart. Right lead. A lot of times before you even start your lead changes, get your hips, swing your hips left and right. Ask your horse for a soft fill. They ought to give it to you when you ask for it. And you ought to be able to go from either lead you choose, from a standstill into a canter, into the right lead or left lead. Now one of the ways that I like to start schooling a lead change is I like to get my counter canter really good. Counter canter means I'm going to the right. Usually you'd be on the right lead, but I'll get my horse working on the left lead. That builds up a lot of strength and a lot of balance. Once I'm in that counter canter, the horse is working really hard. So then when I ask for a lead change, they go from working really hard to, oh man, thank you for giving me that new lead, which would be the right lead if I was going to the right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to counter canter her to the right. So I'll get the left lead going right. That's the left lead It's the left lead counter canter. It's a lot more difficult for a horse to do that intentionally. So now I'll do a right lead, or a circle to the left on the right lead, which would be the counter canter. Hips facing to the right.
So here the wind noise got too bad and you can't really hear me. But all I'm talking about is I'm just going to start cantering on the right lead, going left, which is the counter canter, to get my fine lead changes. And I don't like to do too many fine lead changes at X, which is the center of the arena, just because that can really build an emotional, impulsive horse because they know what's coming. So I like to do fine lead changes everywhere around the arena, including X, but not too often.
If your horse gets impulsive during your lead changes, don't slam them down. Don't be seesawing their faces off. Just keep cantering them until they get calm. They'll probably blow out a little bit. Bring them back down to a walk through the trot, and then just try it over again. These are just a few things to try. There's a lot of other ways to work on your flying lead changes. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to ask for the right lead, and then when I come over to this corner here, I'm going to head towards the camera, and I'm going to get a flying lead change. From the right lead to the left lead, going left. So here's my right lead. I'll pull the counter canter. And there's my correct lead. Easier lead, which is the right lead. I'll do that again. She got a little bit sticky, so I'm going to pick up the left lead, which will be counter cantering to the right, and then I'll go from the left lead to the right lead. So that's just a few tips and techniques that you can use to get your lead changes. There's a lot of other ones out there. I don't pick one method and try to ramrod that into every horse. I have a whole bunch of different methods and techniques and ways to get a flying lead change, but that's just some of the ones that I do a lot of, and I like trying to teach lead changes from the counter canter.
So here I'm just saying that this is the about the third or fourth ride that this horse has had in the 2-rein, carrying that spade bit around. And she did really good. This is the first time that I really asked her to do these maneuvers while carrying that kind of a bit. And I just really appreciate the try that she's given me and all the hard work and effort that she gives whenever I ask her. So thanks for watching. If you guys would like, please subscribe to us on YouTube and also go to Facebook and like our Remount Horsemanship page on there. So thanks a lot and have a great day.